Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all my students are okay. Well, if the answer is yes, that's pretty fine. Well, my dear students, this is the last session of Phonetics and Phonology. You have watched very carefully 34 sessions based on Phonetics and Phonology. And I'm sure that you must have tried to understand the concepts which are behind Phonetics and Phonology. I tried my level best to make the things clear by giving many examples. Sometimes there were analysis, sometimes there were examples, and sometimes there were challenging tasks for you people. And that's why what I did at the end of each and every session, I tried to put before you a challenge, and the challenge was self-assessment. Always remember that self-assessment is the most important part of each and every session. Without doing that, it is possible for the time being you think that okay, I understand what I have seen, what I have heard, what I have listened, but it is possible that you are unable to produce the same thing which is required by your instructor. So that's why it's very important that you have to get yourself engaged in writing, in recording your voice. I hope you remember the time and again I requested you that you have to record your voice because it's very important so far as this particular course is concerned, named as Phonetics and Phonology. I have seen, for example, during the classes I came across many questions and queries, and of course problems, in fact, and the problems were by the students that mentioned by the students that it's very difficult to master the key list, the phonemes of English. I hope you remember I told you many a time that the most important thing is that you have to master all the 44 sounds of English, the traditional 44 sounds of English. That's very important because this is the basics. Well, again, I am in front of you. This is the recording based on your last session of Phonetics and Phonology. Remember, the course title is Phonetics and Phonology, and the program is MA English and BS English. The course code for this particular course is ENGL 1118, and the name of your instructor is Dr. Mubashir, who's been talking to you from session 1 to 34, and this is the last session in which definitely I'm going to acknowledge all the sources of the books of the people who really helped us to make it possible to record all these sessions. At the same time, definitely there are certain remarks I have to make at the end of this session, but I hope for this time you're ready to watch session number 35. That is the last session so far as this course is concerned. Well, this is session number 35, as I told you. It is possible that some of you might be thinking that why these are 35 sessions, why not less? Let me tell you that there are certain sessions which in fact needed some sort of elaboration. That's why I clubbed some of the sessions, 2, sometimes 3. It's very important because my intention was and is to make you understand the concepts. At the same time, certain rules are there. Unless until you practice, it is not possible that we can get the job done. That's why you have to have some more sessions, as you're having session number 35 of this series. Okay. Well, in today's session, my dear students, we shall be talking about syllable, consonant clusters, and weak form. At the same time, we should try to understand some of maybe the lines, maybe the paragraphs, maybe some of the sentences written in both general English and phonetic transcription. So these are 3 or 4 areas we'll be talking about, and definitely at the end of this particular session you shall have some acknowledgements. Definitely we have to acknowledge all those sources, all those people, all the writers, all those authors, everyone who contributed, not only in the making, in the recording of these sessions, but I think in my making as a teacher. Definitely I owe a lot to all my teachers. I shall be talking about them later on, okay? And definitely I shall be just giving my own remarks about this course, and of course certain other things which are very important to record for history. Definitely with any one of the students in the coming days, in the coming generation, when he or she comes across these sessions, definitely should be having some sort of understanding that what were the circumstances in which these sessions were recorded. Okay, so I hope you're ready to understand what is a syllable, what is consonant cluster, and what is a weak form. And at the same time, I'm sure that after having done practice time and again, you're capable of transcribing some of the words, sentences, and paragraphs of general English into a phonetic transcription. Okay. All right. Let's start talking about syllable. Well, I hope you remember that when you were a school student, I hope that you came across this particular term. At the same time, I would like you to recall the objectives of this course. I still remember that I asked you to stop for a while and read that, to get the students familiarized or understand some of the terms of phonetics and phonology. So these are the terms, in fact, and then definitely these are the components of phonology. Now, syllable, I hope that when you were a school student, you know that that you came across what is a syllable. Your teachers must have told you. I asked a little boy of grade 5 or maybe 6 probably, I think 5. I asked, what is a syllable? An English medium school student, and his answer was wonderful. He said that a syllable is the sound which we produced with one chest pulse. I mean, that's wonderful, really. And now, I mean, if you recall all the things when you were elementary school student or maybe a secondary school student, I'm sure that you must have done what is syllable. This is the component you must have done, and your teachers must have worked on that. But this time, for example, I'd like to read this statement for you people. It says that syllable, a segment of speech that consists of a vowel with or without one or more accompanying consonant sounds immediately preceding or following. That's very important to understand. Number one, we have to say and we have to understand that this is a segment of speech. What? A syllable is a segment of speech. Okay, I'm not referring to that little boy's answer that a syllable is the sound which is produced with one chest pulse, but I am just asking you or telling you that it's a segment of speech. That's very important to understand. I am talking to you, I am using many syllables in the words, right? And some of the words are having one syllable. You can call them monosyllabic words. Some are 2, some are having 3, some are having 4, something like that. So you must remember that it's a segment of speech. It consists of a vowel with or without one or more accompanying consonant sounds immediately preceding or following. That's very important. It is possible. If there is a vowel sound, it comes before or after. For example, I, okay, I, then L, and if you can call it I again, then out, to, cap, snap, check. But this is the time, you must not forget that we are talking about only sounds. We are not talking about alphabet of English. No, we are not referring to that. We are referring to English sounds. And by this time, I know that each one of you understand that there are 44 traditional sounds of English, right? And 24 are consonants, 20 are vowels. And there are no two kinds of consonants and vowels. If somebody puts you a question, How many kinds of consonants? There is only one kind of consonant. Yes, again there is a classification of consonants. Same is the case with vowels. There could be some short vowels, long vowels, or diphthongs, gliding sounds you can call them. Is it clear? And then the second statement says that syllable is a unit of pronunciation. You can call it segment, you can call it unit of pronunciation. But remember, if we say that word has one syllable or two syllables, that says something about the rhythmic character of the word. So that means syllable generates rhythm. And you have done what is rhythm. It's the rhythmic character of the words of English language. And you know how English is spoken. Stress-timed, isn't it? You cannot stress each and every syllable. Is it clear? Alright. Now there are certain points you must remember. When we talk about syllable, we have to remember certain points. For example, the first point is that in English, a syllable consists of a phoneme or a sequence of phonemes. In English, a syllable consists of a phoneme or a sequence of phonemes. That's point number one. Point number two is, if the syllable receives word stress, it can be associated with meaning and form what is usually called a word. The third point is, no word in English can consist of anything less than a syllable, and no syllable can consist of anything less than a vowel. That is very important thing you must remember. No word in English can consist of anything less than a syllable, and no syllable can consist of anything less than a vowel. That's the point you must not forget. And finally, remember, there aren't many examples of monosyllabic words consisting of only a vowel in English. There are less examples. There are, but there are less examples in English of monosyllabic words. Is it clear? Now let's talk about consonant clusters. I hope you understand the meaning of the word cluster. You already know that. Okay? But remember, most English syllables consist of more than one vowel. I'm saying most English syllables consist of more than one vowel. Most English syllables. I'm not saying every English syllable, but most English syllables consist of more than one vowel. So in linguistics, this consonant cluster, that is also abbreviated as CC, right? And some people call it cluster only, is a group of two or more consonant sounds. It's a group of two or more consonant sounds. What is a consonant cluster? It's a group of two or more consonant sounds that come before or after or between vowels. If it comes before a vowel, it is called onset. If it comes after vowel, it is called coda. And if it is in between, it is called medial. So I've given the terms, in fact. But for your convenience, I'm saying before, after, and between. So I'm saying consonant cluster is a group of two or more consonant sounds that come before, after, or between vowels. That's very important to understand. Now, onset consonant cluster may occur in two or three initial consonants, in which three are referred to as C, C, C. That means three consonants together, C, C, C. While coda consonant cluster can occur in 2 to 4 consonant groups. That's very important. Sometimes, you know, 2 consonants are there, 3 consonants together, and sometimes more than 3. So this is very important whenever you find all these consonants together. For example, string, s, t, r, string, s, t, r. 3 consonants are together. String. Is it clear? So that is known as a consonant cluster, which is a group of two or more consonant sounds that come before, after, or between vowels. Is it clear? Now, what I said in the previous slide, it is elaboration. Remember, consonant blends, they're also known as consonant clusters, are a collection of two or three different consonant sounds that are each heard when the word is pronounced. Right? They are heard together. As I said, string. And for example, over here, you can have the word drink. D and R are together. There is a cluster. So both the letters D and R are consonants. I gave you the example of, for example, string. Is it clear? Now, for your understanding, you can have these three common three-item initial consonant clusters, right? Very common. So you can see in the following words like split, SPL, sprig, SPR, strip, STR, stew, STY, STY. We are talking about the sounds, okay? Then screen, SKR. Then squad, SKW. So wherein every word must start with an S and be followed by a voiceless stop, such as P or T, and a liquid or a glide like L or W. So these are the examples you can see, for example, in sprig, in strip, in stew, screen, squad. So all these are the consonant clusters. Is it clear? Now, what is the weak form? What is the weak form? Always remember, my dear students, when you are coming across any native speaker of English, they don't speak English the way we speak or the foreign language learners speak. They've got a natural way. They do not stress definitely because it is their language. But what happens, I've seen many people who know what are syllables, what is syllable stress, what is word stress, something like that. But even then we forget. So in English, remember, English is a stress-timed language. This is what I told you many a time, which means that stress syllables are equal in time. That's very important. In one word, there is one place where we have to stress. We cannot stress each and every syllable. For example, if the word has got 3 syllables, it is not possible to stress equally. No, it is not possible. We cannot, and we never do that. Is it clear? So this is very important to understand that English is stress-timed language. So in one word, as I gave you many examples, for example, in the preceding sessions, I demonstrated certain words, certain sentences, and of course I just stressed the syllables which were required to be stressed. So that's why, in order to fit our words into this pattern, we tend to squash or compress other syllables or words occurring between stresses in order to keep up with the more or less regular rhythm. That's very important. So that means there are certain words which help us to generate rhythm. If we start stressing each and every syllable of English, it is not possible to have rhythm. Rhythm, the music of language. It's very important. That's why we have to depend upon weak form. Is it clear? Now there is example for you. When we talk about weak forms in the phonetics of English, disregard a series of words which have one pronunciation, that is strong. When isolated, another weak, when not stressed within a phrase. Now, the word from, this time is in front of you, that is not a weak form. I am saying from. But there is one statement, one topic, the man from Atlantis, or man from Atlantis in American pronunciation, Atlantis. That's why I have written the same, from where I have got this particular name. Now watch, the first word from, which is within the slashes, Phonetic transcription is there. It is written from. That is not a weak form. But when I say the man from Atlantis, I am saying the man from Atlantis. So you can see So here we find the role of schwa sound. Do you remember when I picked up schwa sound and I told you that it shall definitely help you when you are going to have a connected speech, and we shall be able to speak English fastly or naturally. This sound shall help you. So you can see the man from Atlantis. Over there, from is a strong form. From is a weak form. Is it clear? Now there are certain things you must remember, certain points. For example, the very first point regarding weak form is that weak forms are usually distinguished by a change in vowel quality from a border position of the vowel quadrilateral to a central position. Okay? The vowel in a weak form is usually schwa. This is what I am saying. If there are words, for example, if there is a word particular, this is what mostly the people say, particular. But exact pronunciation of this word is, when you are applying weak form, particular. Particular. Okay? Here, the second point is very important to understand. The vowel in a weak form is usually the schwa. This is what I told you when talking about in the previous slide. Weak forms are pronounced more quickly and a lower volume in comparison to the stressed syllables. It's very important that weak form in English language, it's quickly spoken. Low tone is there, low volume is there. And always remember, they're also not central to changes in intonation. So they do not bring any change so far the intonation is concerned. Why? Because they are the weak form. That's very important to understand. That's very important to understand. And in British English, as I told you, most of the times are, of course, in some of the dialects, definitely, we are referring to received pronunciation. R is not spoken, that is dropped. And over there, what happens? Schwa is playing the role. Brother. Instead of brother, it's brother. Mother. Instead of mother, it is mother. Instead of sister, it is sister. Is it clear? Let's read this sentence, for example. Now listen to me very carefully. I went to the hotel and booked a room for 2 nights for my father and his best friend. I repeat. I went to the hotel and booked a room for 2 nights for my father and his best friend. Now, if we eliminate the words that are not emphasized, can you still understand the message? Now, I stressed the words like this: went, hotel, booked, room, 2 nights, father, best friend. Yes, exactly. We can understand the message, but remember, we cannot stress each and every word which is present in this particular sentence. If I read the sentence like that, I went to the hotel, and so it sounds weird, isn't it? So that's why there are certain words which are having, strong form, which are some of the words, some of the sounds which have got the weak forms, right? So here we come. I went to the hotel and booked a room for 2 nights for my father and his best friend. So there are certain words I have to make them strong. Is that clear? Now let's try to understand why is phonetic transcription important, since we are talking about, and the target of each and every student of phonetics and phonology is to have mastery or have some sort of excellence or skill to transcribe the general English into phonetics or phonemic transcription. Remember, phonetic transcription is very important because it helps to pronounce words correctly. Number one, always remember, if you want to pronounce the words correctly, if you look up some words in the dictionary, remember, maybe online dictionary, maybe hardbound dictionary, remember pronunciation is also given there. And if you know what are the 44 sounds of English, you can understand. So it helps you to pronounce words correctly. Then it's necessary, especially for the English language. It's very important. It is a stress time language. That's why you got to be very much careful, and you should be capable of transcribing first of all words, then phrases, then sentences, and of course afterwards you must be capable of transcribing whatever the script of general English is given to you. And then, as you know, the same English letter or combinations of letters can be pronounced and read differently in different words. Of course, there are reading rules in English, but there are a lot of exceptions too. So that's very important. I told you many a time and again, I made request to you people that what you need to do is that you have to have some sort of piece of writing in front of you, record your voice, and please send to me, or send to any of your instructor. That makes no difference at all, and ask him or her, please correct me. Definitely you shall be having the feedback of your instructors, and it's very good exercise that you have to record your voice on the daily basis. That's very important. One more exercise I requested you to do, stand in front of the mirror and start speaking English. You shall come to know that what are the mistakes you are making. So that's a wonderful exercise. All right, transcribing English. Do you remember the very first session when I wrote welcome to phonetics? Welcome to phonetics. Do you remember? That was the target. In fact, remember, my dear students, that was the target that we are supposed to achieve. So transcribing English, let's jump into that world. Well, let's have this exercise first of all. There are certain words written in general English on the left side, and they are transcribed and they are given on the right side. Now the words are thing, tree, arrow, fishing, wives, oxen, brass, no, maths. Well, one word written in general English, then transcribed phonetically. Okay, so this is what you have to do when you are free. Pick up the words from general English, try to transcribe them phonetically, and then afterwards, after completing the task, try to see what are the mistakes you have made. Is it clear? Now I'm going to read out these words for you. I want you to write these words in general English, right? If you do not have your notebook in front of you, I want you to switch it off or take a pause, and then when I start reading out these words written in phonetic transcription, I want you to write down in general English. Are you ready? Okay. Addicted. 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 Lazy. Lazy. Mean. Mean. Chess. Chess. Fancy. Fancy. Fat. Fat. Attractive. Attractive. Rude. Rude. Talkative. talkative, stand, stand. Have you written? That's very good. Now match the score. Now read this sentence, and first of all listen to me carefully, and afterwards you can read both in general English and in the phonetic transcription. Dozens of holidaymakers travelling on Leicestershire only remaining steam railway escaped injury yesterday after a collision with a lorry on an unguarded level crossing. I repeat, dozens of holidaymakers travelling on Leicestershire's only remaining steam railway escaped injury yesterday after a collision with a lorry on an unguarded level crossing. I repeat, dozens of holidaymakers travelling on Leicestershire's only remaining steam railway escaped injury yesterday after a collision with a lorry on an unguarded level crossing. Now listen to this sentence. It's the shorter one. If we say that a word has one syllable or two syllables, that says something about the rhythmic character of the word. I repeat, if we say that a word has one syllable or two syllables, that says something about the rhythmic character of the word. I repeat, if we say that a word has one syllable or two syllables, that says something about the rhythmic character of the word. Now, you can see, you can match, you can read, okay? If you know all the phonemes of English, you can understand what's written, how it's written in phonetic transcription. Is it clear? Now, this sentence, as you can hear, a syllable is a unit of pronunciation. If we say that a word has one syllable or two syllables, that says something about the rhythmic character of the word. I repeat, as you can hear, a syllable is a unit of pronunciation. If we say that a word has one syllable or two syllables, that says something about the rhythmic character of the word. Is it clear? This is what, or this is how you have to speak English. When you just practice, I'm sure that you have to practice. I'm sure that you must have practiced a lot, and in the coming days when you shall be practicing a lot, I'm sure that you will be able and you should be capable of transcribing general English phonetically. Okay? Now let's talk about self-assessment so far as this session is concerned, which is of course the last session, as I told you earlier. And what you need to do is that you have to explain what is a syllable, consonant, cluster, weak form, and at the same time you must try to transcribe certain words, certain sentences phonetically. This is the practice, in fact, I expect from you people. I told you when I picked up the first session, when I entered in the class, and during that discussion I had a talk with you, and I said that it is not possible that each one of you is going to be a phonetician. I mean a man or a woman who's going to master phonetics and phonology. But at the same time, I made a statement that some of you would start liking phonetics and phonology, and by the end of the course, definitely we have to say that was my objective, that I love phonetics. I am sure there are certain problems. I'm sure that there are certain hurdles you came across during the entire course, titled as Phonetics and Phonology. But I'm at the same time sure that most of you have started liking phonetics and phonology. The reason, what I understand, or maybe my analysis says that before that we never tried to dissect English language the way we have been doing throughout the semester. We never tried to sit for the correction of ourselves. We never try to correct ourselves. We never try to think about the pronunciation. We never try to understand the concepts or the rules governing English pronunciation. But I'm sure that now the students, all my students who are listening to me, they would definitely agree with me. Now this is the time, or this course has provided them with a chance to understand English in a different way, or certain, or maybe in other words, I would like to say that now their dimension is changed. This is what in fact I aimed. This is what I aimed at, that I wanted to change your paradigm. Now this time, English is different language before you people. And I'm sure, I'm not saying everyone, and everyone should not be, because I'm not idealist. But a majority, I understand now, I mean all the students, they know, yes, exactly, the time has come that they have to improve their pronunciation. When you want to improve your English pronunciation, my dear students, what you need to do is that you have to get yourself engaged in practice. First, try to understand the phonemes of English. Definitely the concepts are there. So far as theory is concerned, maybe it's phonetics and phonology. But again, the target should be that I must have refined pronunciation. I told you that we don't have to go for the pronunciation the way the British people have, or maybe the American people have. No, we can't have, because it is their native language. But at least what we can do is that we can have refined pronunciation. So for this session, what is self-assessment component, that is in front of you. Try to explain syllable, consonant cluster and weak form. At the same time, please try to transcribe some of the sentences, starting from the words and then sentences phonetically. Okay? Well, these are the books. In fact, I always believe that any writer sitting in the world, maybe United States, England, European countries, maybe our neighboring country, or maybe some other parts of the world, I think they are the people we must respect, and I owe a lot to them. I owe a lot to them, because these are the people who, I mean, the list is in front of you. You can see all these people. They have done wonderful tasks, wonderful jobs as far as English phonetics and phonology are concerned. So when you get a time, maybe today, tomorrow, on your practical life, please do try to read their books. Wonderful books these are, and I really want to salute them. I really want to say thanks to them. Not only these, but those who worked with them, who were engaged in printing these books, who were engaged in editing these books, who were engaged in proofreading these books. I mean, everyone, it is somebody, everyone is somebody that must be respected. And here I salute each and every teacher, and every writer, every author, every university, every institute, wherever they are teaching, they have been teaching, they taught. So I really would like to extend my thanks to them. So again, there are certain writers. Again, in this slide you can see many writers are they have done their job in the world of phonetics and phonology, and I owe a lot to them. At the same time, I said maybe British, maybe American, maybe writers from our neighboring country, maybe writers from old South Asian countries, or maybe Far Eastern countries, or maybe Turkey. I mean, any part of the world, because people really worked a lot in this particular field. And once again, I would like to acknowledge their services. I would like to acknowledge their efforts, and I can only say that may God bless them. So these are the other sources. I would like to say thanks to them. I mean, you can read them. They have got wonderful material, online materials available. Definitely the material is also available in the printed shape. I mean, they are doing tremendous services so far as language teaching is concerned, or language learning is concerned. Primarily I'm talking about English, right? So sources are available. Now the time has come that you must try to utilize these sources. The wonderful things are available. I want you to get the maximum benefit from all these resources, and my own thanks to these resources. Really, I got wonderful help from them in understanding phonetics and phonology in a different way. Now, some more in front of you. Again, my same remarks that I would like to extend my thanks on the behalf of my students, my colleagues, because phonetics and phonology, definitely there's a different type of branches of linguistics, because much has not been done so far as our culture is concerned. I mean academic culture I'm talking about. So this course is taken up by some of the students. Sometimes it is a compulsory course, but most of the time I've seen that it is a neglected one. But the sources are available, books are available. I want you to take maximum benefits from all these resources. Okay? Now, my dear students, it's very important before I close the 35th session of Phonetics and Phonology, which is of course the last one. Throughout my talk, throughout my recordings, I never talked about COVID-19. I never talked about coronavirus. I never talked about the things which definitely, I mean that particular pandemic which has changed the entire face of the globe. Just 3 or 4 months back, nobody could imagine that this could happen to each and every soul on earth. It is not one country. It is not one person. It is not one street. But the entire humanity suffered and still suffering. The difficult days were when I had some sort of problem, but I kept on recording my sessions. You cannot imagine the pain I passed through. But the only thing that always gave me strength was that one day Almighty God shall help. The people now need each other, one another. They never needed before. What are the lessons we are learning, and what are the lessons we have learned? That's very important to share. I know that what are the difficulties the students faced. I can understand that difficulties my colleagues faced. I can understand the difficulties my university faced and still facing. I can feel the problems and the difficulties the entire world is facing. But we have to live, and we have to learn how to live, so far as the present circumstances are concerned. When I'm recording this session, there is no vaccine so far. God knows better who shall win the game. But definitely the entire global community is working on it. But my dear students, when we talk about our problems, we forget the problems of others. We never give any sort of attention to the problem of other people. We experienced the havocs of Second World War, the First World War, and you must agree with me that the children died of hunger in Africa and other parts of the world. Children are dying on earth. They have done nothing, but they are being killed in many parts of the world. Did we try to feel the pain of those families? No, we never. Don't you think that human beings forgot that there is a supreme power in the world, in this cosmos, the sustainer, our Lord, who is writing each and every deed? That means sometimes we forget the others are also human beings. And we start thinking that I am the only human being on earth. That's why I'm doing, and I've got the right to do some sort of injustice. Still, you can see in the societies, media is telling you, informing you what's going on. An injection worth of in Pakistani rupees 10,000 It's being sold plus 200,000. Still price hike, still bombardment in different parts of the world, still killing of innocent children and people, still racism. Why this? What religion has told us and taught us that there is a difference in between human beings or among human beings? No religion has told this. But why there is a discrimination? I wanted to talk to you. I feel like a common human being, which could be a Pakistani, an Ethiopian, a European, an American, French, German, Russian, Afghani, anyone. Anyone could be. I have the same color of my blood. You have got the same color of your blood. What is the color of your tears, and what is the difference between the color of the tears of you and the little boy living in Ethiopia, dying of hunger? There is no difference, my dear ones. But now the time has come that we have to realize, because of this pain, if this pain is not teaching us, then I wonder what kind of human beings we are. This pain has given us one message, that you are very important, that every human soul is very important. You must wear the mask. You must sanitize your hands. You must keep social distancing. You must have some sort of that means, in other words, I am saying that you are very important, and you are saying I am very important. That's why we are trying to follow these medical SOPs, and we must. But my dear students, the most important thing is, have we learnt any lesson? If there is no lesson at all which we have learnt, then what is the use of all this? Maybe after a couple of months or any time, some of the countries or any country in the world, or some of the scientists or doctors, they are successful in making some sort of vaccination, and afterwards, alright, after 4 or 5 months, the same world is going on and on and on. If there is no lesson learned, what about the Muslim faith? Just imagine, Makkah has been closed. You cannot perform Umrah. What about the Christian brothers and sisters? They cannot go to Jerusalem. All the world flights stopped. There is no flight operations. There are many things we have to consider. It's not only economy. People talk about economy. I talk about human emotions. I talk about when there is some sort of assistance from the fellow human beings. What you have seen, for example, in the recent times when the first lockdown was imposed, I saw many people. Of course, I was also the part of that team or that group, or that, I mean those people who tried to reach the people, to provide them food. And I saw thousands of people were doing this task. That means humanity is still there. The only thing is that we have to feel it. It should not be only in my country. I should be very much concerned about my neighboring country people who's dying. I should be thinking about European people. I should be thinking about Central Asian people. I should be thinking about Latin American people, South American people. I should be thinking about United Kingdom people, Canadians, or maybe any part of the world. I should be having some sort of feelings about New Zealand people, or the people living in Australia, or in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Egypt, you name it. I must have feelings, human feelings. Of course, the difficult time we are passing, God knows better when we shall be out of this. But I think as a teacher, as an instructor, as a learner, first of all, as a student, this is my job to send this message to my students, that the time has come that we must try to think like a human being first. We have to assist the people. We have to feel their agony. Because God has sent human beings to earth for some sort of particular purpose. Everyone knows that one day I have to go back to my Lord. This is the faith of each and every person. Even atheists, for example, some people call, I'm atheist, alright, this is their philosophy, but they know they have to go somewhere. Okay? So everyone believes that I have to go somewhere. We have to go to our Creator. What about the time which has been given to us to live over here? That's this very beautiful life, my dear honorable students. Wonderful life. So I want you to respect each other. I want you to take wonderful care. When you are going to take care of yourself, that means you are going to ensure it, that you will be taking care of the person you see, you meet. There are 3 or 4 things you have to do. Put the mask on your face, sanitize your hands, keep on washing your hands, and then keep the distance. It's a very simple philosophy. This is what the experts say. I'm not saying, the experts say, the medical experts say, alright, 90 to plus 90%, you have got the chances not to get this virus. And then whenever, for example, you go, if you have to go, definitely, then please observe these SOPs, and then when you get back to your home, you have to wash your hands, and after 1 hour or maybe half an hour, you just wash your hands. And those who, and Muslim brothers and sisters, they offer their prayers 5 times. You can just double it when you are just washing your hands. Very simple philosophy. So anyways, from my side, thank you very much. I wanted to share some some feelings which really I wanted to share in the beginning, sometimes in the middle of my course, but deliberately I did not talk about these things, because I said and I thought that I shall be talking about these things at the end of this program. And I hope that I tried my level best to make the things easier for you, make the things simpler for you, and I'm sure that you should try to practice the things which I requested you. Thank you very much from my side, and this is the time to close our Phonetics and Phonology course. Of course, the title of this course is Phonetics and Phonology, and the course code of this particular course is ENGL 1118. And I am Dr. Vashanuddin, who has been with you for the last 35 sessions. I hope that you are generous enough that if you feel that I made mistake, please pardon my mistakes. I apologize. I know that I'm not a native speaker of English. I've got certain it is possible I have got certain mistakes with me so far as the language learning is concerned, so far as my pronunciation is concerned. It happens naturally. So if you felt that, if you underlined them, so I want you to please accept my apology, and please do correct me whenever you get a chance. I'm all the time available. Thank you very much from my side. Goodbye and good luck. Allah Hafiz. Stay blessed.